Apparently, there's some jealousy that might be manifesting itself into physical, inappropriate conduct.
The WNBA world just got shaken to its core, and this time, it wasn't a player making waves, it was Bill O'Reilly stepping into the conversation. In a fiery live segment, O'Reilly didn't hold back, going off on the critics of Caitlin Clark with a level of intensity that left fans and commentators alike stunned. What started as social media chatter and online criticism of Clark's game quickly escalated when O'Reilly took the mic, directly calling out her haters and making it clear that their attacks were not going unnoticed. For weeks, Caitlin Clark has been dominating headlines, not just for her remarkable skills on the court but for the intense scrutiny from critics who question her style, attitude, or even her impact on the league. Fans and analysts alike have weighed in, but O'Reilly's live segment added a new layer of authority and shock value, forcing her detractors to reckon with someone willing to publicly defend her. What made this moment explosive wasn't just O'Reilly's criticism of the haters, it was the sheer passion and precision with which he dismantled their arguments. He systematically called out the hypocrisy, biases, and over-the-top reactions of critics, leaving little room for counterpoints. Fans watching live described it as unfiltered and devastating, with social media instantly lighting up as clips went viral. Within minutes, the conversation had shifted from online complaints about Clark to debates about who had the bigger impact in defending her performance or O'Reilly's fiery commentary. The timing of this defense couldn't have been more dramatic. Clark has been at the center of heated discussions about gender, sports culture, and media coverage in professional basketball. By going live, O'Reilly effectively brought mainstream attention to the conversation, amplifying Clark's achievements while calling out unfair criticism in real time. Viewers noted that his approach combined strategic argumentation with emotional intensity, turning what could have been just another commentary segment into a viral moment. Fans were quick to respond, flooding social media with reactions ranging from awe to outright celebration. Some praised O'Reilly for stepping up and defending Clark when others stayed silent, while others debated whether media personality should weigh in on sports criticism at all. One thing is clear. The segment has ignited a national conversation, shining a spotlight not only on Caitlin Clark's dominance in the WNBA but also on the broader discussion of fairness, recognition, and accountability in sports media. The segment instantly became a cultural flashpoint. Clips circulated across TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, with commentators analyzing every word, gesture, and moment of O'Reilly's tirade. Fans dissected his approach, applauding the precision with which he dismantled arguments and the unapologetic tone he used to make his point. The discussion quickly evolved beyond Clark herself, highlighting issues of media bias, social commentary, and the responsibility of critics when evaluating athletes in the public eye. By going off live, Bill O'Reilly didn't just defend Caitlin Clark. He sent a message that online negativity and baseless criticism would not go unchecked. Critics were left scrambling as the segment went viral, while Clark supporters celebrated the public vindication. The moment serves as a reminder that in today's digital and media-driven culture, voices like O'Reilly's can drastically shift the conversation, amplify support, and challenge detractors in ways that go far beyond social media comment sections. This explosive defense is already being called one of the most intense public moments in sports commentary in recent years. Caitlin Clark's fans have rallied behind her, and her critics are facing a reckoning. The segment proved that powerful commentary, delivered live and unapologetically, can change the narrative in an instant. And with social media amplifying every moment, the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. In the next segments, we'll break down exactly what Bill O'Reilly said, how it affects Caitlin Clark's critics, and what this means for the future of the WNBA's media coverage. The stakes are high, the emotions are raw, and this is just the beginning of a conversation that has already shaken the sports world to its core. Fans are glued to every update, and the drama surrounding Clark's defenders and detractors is far from over. The explosive moment when Bill O'Reilly went off against Caitlin Clark's critics has quickly become one of the most talked about events in recent WNBA history. While Clark has been dominating headlines for her on-court brilliance, the intensity of her critics had reached a boiling point, prompting O'Reilly to step in live on camera and call them out like never before. Known for his no-nonsense commentary and unapologetic style, O'Reilly wasted no time dismantling the arguments of those attacking Clark, leaving viewers stunned and sparking a viral conversation that swept across social media. For weeks, Caitlin Clark had been the subject of heated debates online. Her athletic prowess, aggressive playing style, and increasing fame had attracted a mix of admiration and criticism. While fans praised her skill, her determination, and her contributions to the WNBA, Detractors scrutinized everything from her gameplay to her personality, often questioning her influence or dismissing her achievements. It was clear that Clark's rising star had triggered a wave of negativity, some rooted in gender bias, jealousy, or misunderstanding of her role as a leader on the court. The conversation had grown increasingly toxic online, setting the stage for O'Reilly's intervention. O'Reilly's live segment began with an immediate tone of urgency and authority. From the very first moment, it was evident that he was not merely commenting on the situation. He was delivering a scathing and direct rebuttal aimed squarely at the haters. His commentary was precise and forceful, addressing multiple points raised by critics while exposing the flaws in their logic. Viewers noted that O'Reilly's energy was intense, and his delivery left little room for argument. By systematically dismantling the criticism, he framed the conversation not as a debate but as a decisive challenge to anyone attempting to undermine Clark's achievements. The presence of a high-profile commentator like O'Reilly added a layer of credibility and shock to the moment. While social media reactions can be fleeting, having a nationally recognized voice confront detractors in real time elevated the issue to a broader audience. Fans quickly noticed that this wasn't just about Clark. It was about media responsibility, the fairness of public critique, and the power of commentary in shaping perception. Social media platforms exploded with clips of O'Reilly's tirade, with TikTok videos, YouTube breakdowns, and Twitter threads dissecting every line, gesture, and point of emphasis. Within hours, the moment had gone viral, reaching far beyond traditional sports audiences. Observers also highlighted the emotional impact of the segment. O'Reilly's defense of Clark was not just logical, it was impassioned, fueled by a sense of fairness and accountability that resonated with viewers. Fans commented on the intensity of his delivery, noting how he did not hold back when addressing the hypocrisy and extreme criticism that Clark had endured. The energy of the segment was palpable, creating a live, real time experience for viewers who felt the force of his words as if they were in the studio witnessing it firsthand. This emotional weight helped cement the moment as one of the most significant defenses of a WNBA player in recent years. The timing of O'Reilly's commentary added to the drama. Caitlin Clark had been facing mounting criticism, with social media debates growing increasingly heated and polarized. By intervening live, O'Reilly not only defended Clark but also shifted the narrative, turning attention away from the haters and focusing it on her achievements. Analysts noted that this kind of intervention is rare, as few media personalities step directly into sports debates in such an unapologetic and confrontational manner. This made the moment not only powerful for Clark but also culturally significant, highlighting how commentary can influence public perception almost instantly. Fans reacted almost immediately, flooding social media with praise for both Clark and O'Reilly. Many expressed relief that someone with a prominent platform had stepped in to call out unfair criticism, while others debated whether O'Reilly's intervention would escalate the tension with Clark's detractors. Twitter threads quickly filled with clips and reactions, and TikTok users uploaded video breakdowns, analyzing his tone, word choice, and impact. Memes and reaction videos spread the segment even further, creating a viral cycle that amplified the intensity of the story. The conversation had moved from online comments to a nationwide discussion, demonstrating the intersection of sports, media, and digital culture. Analysts also examined the implications of the confrontation for Clark's career and public image. Having a high-profile defender like O'Reilly reinforced her legitimacy and authority as one of the WNBA's rising stars. It sent a message that unfair criticism would not go unchallenged, while also elevating her profile in broader media discussions. Fans and commentators debated how this moment might influence future coverage of Clark and the league overall, noting that O'Reilly's intervention could set a precedent for defending athletes publicly against unjust criticism. Ultimately, the segment demonstrated the power of live commentary and the impact of speaking forcefully on behalf of athletes. O'Reilly's defense of Caitlin Clark went beyond mere opinion. It was a cultural statement about accountability, fairness, and respect in sports media. Fans around the world responded in real time, elevating the discussion and ensuring that the moment would not be forgotten. As this story continues to unfold, the questions remain. How will Clark's critics respond, and what will be the lasting impact on her career and the perception of the WNBA? This is only the beginning of a conversation that has already captured global attention, setting the stage for intense debate and ongoing analysis in the sports world. The live segment in which Bill O'Reilly defended Caitlin Clark against her critics did more than just create headlines. It became a cultural flashpoint, highlighting the intersection of sports, media, and public perception. The intensity of the moment was amplified by O'Reilly's signature style: unapologetic, confrontational, and unfiltered. Unlike many celebrity commentators who tread carefully to avoid backlash, O'Reilly used the platform to directly challenge the haters, systematically dismantling their arguments while defending Clark's achievements on the court. This segment quickly became viral content, with clips circulating across social media platforms and sparking widespread discussion among fans and critics alike. Caitlin Clark's rise in the WNBA has been meteoric. Known for her scoring ability, court vision, and fearless style, she has become one of the most talked-about athletes in women's basketball. However, with growing fame has come growing scrutiny. Some critics questioned her influence, compared her to other players in the league, or suggested that her popularity overshadowed other athletes. Social media debates escalated, with trolls and commentators dissecting her every move on the court, her personality, and even her off-court presence. The intensity of these critiques created a perfect storm for a high-profile defense like O'Reilly's. During the live segment, O'Reilly addressed the criticism with a level of precision and authority that left many viewers stunned. He pointed out the inconsistencies, biases, and hypocrisy in the arguments presented by detractors, showing that much of the negativity was unwarranted. He framed the discussion not only around Clark's accomplishments but also around the broader principles of fairness and respect in sports media. By doing so, O'Reilly shifted the conversation from personal attacks to a critique of media behavior and the societal treatment of successful female athletes. Social media erupted as viewers reacted in real time. On Twitter, hashtags related to the segment trended globally, while YouTube content creators analyzed every word and gesture. TikTok exploded with reaction videos, highlighting both O'Reilly's intensity and the viral potential of his defense. Fans praised the segment for calling out unfair criticism, while others debated whether a media personality should intervene in sports commentary. Regardless of perspective, the coverage emphasized the significant influence public figures have in shaping narratives around athletes and the impact of viral moments on public discourse. Industry insiders also weighed in on the potential long-term effects of the confrontation. Many suggested that O'Reilly's defense could influence how the media covers Clark moving forward, reinforcing the need for fair analysis rather than biased or overly critical commentary. For Clark, having a prominent defender helped validate her accomplishments, sending a clear message that detractors cannot undermine her impact without scrutiny. The incident also sparked discussion about gender dynamics in sports media, highlighting the unique challenges faced by women athletes when navigating public perception and criticism. The psychological dynamics of the segment were particularly striking. O'Reilly combined assertiveness with persuasive rhetoric, delivering his points with a tone of authority that left little room for rebuttal. Fans noted that this approach not only defended Clark but also challenged the critics directly, forcing them to reconsider their positions. The combination of emotional intensity and logical argumentation created a moment that was both compelling and difficult to ignore. It was a reminder of the power of media personalities to influence public sentiment and shape the conversation in ways that can have lasting effects. As clips circulated, debates emerged about the effectiveness of O'Reilly's defense. Some praised him for using his platform to amplify Clark's achievements and hold critics accountable, while others suggested that his approach might escalate tensions further. Fans dissected every aspect of the segment, from tone and body language to phrasing and argument structure. The engagement demonstrated that moments like this go far beyond the initial event. They become ongoing discussions, influencing how athletes, media, and fans interact in the digital age. The segment also highlighted the evolving role of social media in sports commentary. While traditional outlets can provide coverage and analysis, the viral nature of platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter ensures that moments like O'Reilly's live defense reach far wider audiences almost instantly. This amplification not only increases visibility for the athlete being defended but also elevates the public profile of the commentator, creating a feedback loop where attention, influence, and engagement reinforce each other. Ultimately, O'Reilly's live intervention showcased the power of unapologetic, direct commentary in shaping public perception. By defending Caitlin Clark against unfair criticism, he highlighted the importance of fairness, accountability, and respect in sports discourse. Fans, analysts, and commentators continue to dissect the implications, from the impact on Clark's career to broader discussions about media bias and the treatment of female athletes. The conversation is far from over. Questions remain. How will Clark's detractors respond? Will other media figures follow O'Reilly's lead and intervene? And how will this moment shape future coverage of the WNBA and its star players? One thing is certain. The segment has already left a lasting mark, sparking dialogue that will continue to evolve and reverberate across sports and social media alike. The stage is set for further debate, and fans are watching closely, eager to see what unfolds next in this high-stakes, emotionally charged narrative. The explosive live segment where Bill O'Reilly defended Caitlin Clark has continued to reverberate across the sports and social media world, becoming a defining moment in how public figures intervene in ongoing debates about athletes. Fans and commentators alike are still dissecting every detail of the broadcast, from O'Reilly's assertive delivery to the content and timing of his defense. Unlike typical social media commentary, which can often be reactionary or fleeting, this moment carried weight because it was live, direct, and unapologetic, forcing Caitlin Clark's critics to reckon with a powerful voice defending her accomplishments. The segment's impact extends beyond just a viral clip. It has opened a broader discussion about accountability, fairness, and the role of commentary in shaping public perception. Caitlin Clark's critics had been increasingly vocal, questioning her prominence in the WNBA, dissecting her playing style, and even challenging her influence on the league. For many, the criticisms had shifted from constructive analysis to personal attacks, igniting debates about fairness, bias, and gender dynamics in sports commentary. O'Reilly's intervention directly addressed these issues, systematically dismantling the criticisms and exposing the flaws in the arguments of detractors. His defense wasn't just a show of support. It was a calculated, precise rebuttal aimed at reframing the conversation around Clark's talent, impact, and deserving recognition. Fans immediately recognized the significance of this defense, as it elevated Clark's narrative while calling out unfair attacks in a very public, unavoidable way. During the live broadcast, O'Reilly's energy and focus were palpable. He spoke with authority and clarity, leaving no room for ambiguity about his stance. Every point he made was deliberate, emphasizing the accomplishments of Caitlin Clark while highlighting the hypocrisy and overreach of her critics. Viewers noted that this wasn't just a general statement of support, it was a full-on dismantling of opposition arguments, delivered with both logic and passion. The combination of factual reasoning, emotional intensity, and the live format made the segment feel immediate and personal, drawing fans into the moment as though they were witnessing a turning point in the ongoing debate. Social media erupted as clips of the segment spread across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Fans dissected O'Reilly's tone, gestures, and phrasing, debating whether his defense would permanently shift public perception or simply add fuel to the ongoing controversy. Hashtags related to the event began trending globally, and reaction videos proliferated as viewers analyzed each moment. Memes, commentary, and fan debates created a viral feedback loop, magnifying the significance of the segment and ensuring that it remained at the center of discussion for days following the broadcast. The public response demonstrated the power of live interventions in amplifying support for athletes while simultaneously holding critics accountable. Analysts pointed out that the segment highlighted larger cultural and social dynamics beyond just Caitlin Clark. Discussions of media responsibility, gender equity, and the treatment of women athletes became intertwined with O'Reilly's defense. By addressing unfair criticism directly, he underscored the need for commentators and fans to approach sports discourse with respect and fairness. Many noted that Clark's critics had underestimated the impact of a high-profile voice stepping in to defend her, demonstrating how quickly public narratives can shift when influential figures intervene in real time. The segment, therefore, served not only as a defense of Clark but also as a commentary on broader patterns in sports media and public discourse. The emotional impact of the segment was another critical factor in its virality. O'Reilly's passionate delivery resonated with viewers who had grown frustrated with the relentless negativity toward Clark. By confronting critics head-on, he tapped into a collective sense of justice among fans and supporters, creating a moment of catharsis for those who had felt her reputation was being unfairly attacked. Social media engagement reflected this energy, with fans praising O'Reilly for holding people accountable and encouraging broader discussion about fairness in sports commentary. The live nature of the segment made it feel authentic and unfiltered, heightening its emotional resonance and impact. Media analysts also noted that this moment could have lasting effects on both Clark and her critics. For Clark, the defense solidified her status as a legitimate, highly respected athlete whose achievements deserve recognition. For critics, it served as a warning that baseless attacks and biased commentary can be challenged publicly, forcing them to reconsider how they approach discussions about prominent athletes. The incident highlighted the delicate balance between criticism and accountability in public discourse, demonstrating that commentary carries consequences, especially when amplified by social media and live broadcasts. Fans debated the broader implications of the segment, with some arguing that O'Reilly had set a precedent for defending athletes against unjust criticism, while others questioned whether media personalities should intervene in sports debates at all. Regardless of perspective, the segment undeniably shifted the conversation. It framed Caitlin Clark as more than just a talented athlete. It positioned her as a figure whose accomplishments and respectability are defended by influential voices, further elevating her profile and influence within the WNBA and beyond. Ultimately, Bill O'Reilly's live defense of Caitlin Clark represents a landmark moment in modern sports commentary. By confronting critics in real time, he not only protected her reputation but also sparked a global conversation about fairness, media bias, and the treatment of female athletes in professional sports. Fans, commentators, and analysts continue to dissect every detail, from rhetorical strategies to social media impact, ensuring that the conversation remains alive and relevant. As the story unfolds, questions remain. Will Clark's detractors respond, modify their critiques, or retreat in light of O'Reilly's intervention? How will this moment influence the media coverage of Clark and the WNBA in the coming months? One thing is clear. The segment has already reshaped the conversation, creating a moment of accountability, intensity, and cultural significance that will be analyzed and remembered for years to come. Fans around the world are watching closely, eager to see how the next chapter in this drama will play out, and the stakes have never been higher. The live segment in which Bill O'Reilly confronted Caitlin Clark's critics continued to reverberate across social media and sports communities, proving that a powerful voice can dramatically shift the narrative surrounding an athlete. What made this segment especially explosive was the combination of timing, intensity, and credibility. Clark had been under fire for weeks, facing criticism that ranged from questioning her playing style to undermining her influence in the WNBA. By stepping into the discussion live, O'Reilly not only defended Clark's achievements but also amplified the conversation, ensuring that her critics were held accountable in real time. The result was a moment that fans, analysts, and commentators described as both shocking and historic. Caitlin Clark's rise in the WNBA has been meteoric, fueled by her scoring prowess, court vision, and fearless leadership. However, with success comes scrutiny, and online criticism had been mounting. Some commentators dismissed her style as overly aggressive, while others questioned whether her visibility overshadowed other athletes in the league. Social media trolls further amplified these criticisms, creating an environment where Clark's accomplishments were increasingly overshadowed by negativity. O'Reilly's intervention addressed these criticisms head-on, forcing a reframing of the conversation from personal attacks to fair recognition of talent and achievement. During the broadcast, O'Reilly's intensity and command of the discussion were immediately evident. He methodically addressed each criticism, pointing out inconsistencies and biases in the arguments of detractors. By highlighting the hypocrisy of certain critics and emphasizing Clark's undeniable contributions to the game, he effectively neutralized negative narratives while shining a spotlight on her skill and determination. Viewers noted that the segment was structured with precision. Every point was calculated, every argument reinforced Clark's legitimacy, and the delivery left little room for debate. The combination of logic and raw passion made it impossible to ignore. Social media response was instantaneous and overwhelming. Clips of the segment were shared widely across TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, fueling debates and reaction videos. Fans praised O'Reilly for speaking out, describing his defense as a necessary intervention in a climate where unfair criticism had become normalized. Memes, analyses, and fan commentary spread rapidly, illustrating how viral media can magnify the influence of live commentary. The discussion extended far beyond sports fans, engaging casual viewers who were intrigued by the intensity and boldness of the defense. Industry analysts quickly highlighted the cultural and social significance of the segment. Beyond defending Clark, O'Reilly had spotlighted broader issues of gender bias, media responsibility, and accountability in professional sports coverage. By confronting unfair criticism so publicly, he set a precedent for how influential voices can challenge biased narratives, particularly those directed at female athletes. The segment was widely cited as an example of the power of direct, live commentary in reshaping public discourse and challenging entrenched opinions. The emotional weight of the broadcast was another factor that contributed to its virality. O'Reilly spoke with passion and urgency, delivering his points in a way that resonated with fans who had grown frustrated with ongoing negativity toward Clark. His approach was both assertive and protective, emphasizing that unwarranted criticism must be challenged, particularly when it threatens to overshadow genuine talent and achievement. Fans responded with fervor, sharing clips, creating commentary threads, and amplifying the discussion across multiple platforms. The moment became a rallying point for Clark's supporters, cementing the segment as a defining moment in her public narrative. Critics of the intervention also voiced opinions, with some questioning whether a media personality should step so forcefully into sports debates. However, the overwhelming reaction leaned toward praise, as the segment highlighted the importance of accountability and fairness in discussions surrounding professional athletes. Many commentators noted that Clark's critics had underestimated the power of having an influential defender step into the conversation, particularly one who could leverage a live broadcast to control the narrative. The live segment also highlighted the evolving role of social media in shaping the impact of commentary. Platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter ensured that every moment was instantly shared, analyzed, and debated, creating a feedback loop that magnified the significance of O'Reilly's defense. Fans dissected micro-expressions, hand gestures, and tonal inflections, treating the broadcast as both entertainment and a cultural case study. The virality of the segment demonstrates how live interventions, when paired with social media amplification, can transform a single broadcast into a global conversation that transcends traditional sports commentary. Ultimately, Bill O'Reilly's defense of Caitlin Clark was more than just a reaction to criticism. It was a cultural moment that showcased the power of live, unapologetic commentary in influencing public perception. By confronting detractors directly, he highlighted the importance of fairness, respect, and accountability in sports discourse. Fans, analysts, and commentators continue to dissect the segment, debating its implications for Clark, her critics, and the future of WNBA coverage. As the story develops, questions remain. Will Clark's critics adjust their approach in response to this high-profile defense? Will other media figures follow O'Reilly's lead, stepping into debates to defend athletes publicly? And what will this moment mean for the ongoing evolution of commentary, fairness, and accountability in professional sports? One thing is certain: the segment has left an indelible mark, and fans worldwide are watching closely to see what happens next in this intense, emotionally charged saga surrounding Caitlin Clark and her growing influence in the WNBA. The aftermath of Bill O'Reilly's live defense of Caitlin Clark continues to dominate sports media and social platforms, highlighting just how powerful a single broadcast can be in shaping public perception. What started as a straightforward rebuttal against critics evolved into a moment of cultural significance, sparking debates about media responsibility, accountability, and the treatment of female athletes in professional sports. Fans, analysts, and industry insiders have dissected every word, gesture, and pause from the segment, creating a viral wave of engagement that has kept Clark's story at the forefront of national attention. The segment's impact was immediate. Caitlin Clark's supporters flooded social media with praise for O'Reilly, applauding him for publicly defending her when critics had relentlessly questioned her talent, leadership, and impact on the WNBA. Meanwhile, detractors were left scrambling to justify their criticisms, with many attempting to backtrack after O'Reilly systematically dismantled their arguments live on camera. The intensity and precision of his commentary left little room for ambiguity. It was clear that baseless attacks would no longer go unchecked. The segment essentially flipped the narrative, putting Clark firmly on the side of respect and accomplishment, while casting her critics in a harshly critical light. O'Reilly's approach combined passionate delivery with strategic reasoning. He highlighted Clark's impressive statistics, her consistent leadership on the court, and the growing recognition she has earned as one of the league's most dynamic players. He contrasted these achievements with the unsubstantiated nature of the criticisms aimed at her, exposing flaws and inconsistencies while reinforcing the importance of fairness in public discussion. Viewers noted that this combination of emotional intensity and logical clarity made the broadcast exceptionally compelling, ensuring that even casual observers could understand the stakes and the arguments at play. Social media engagement exploded as clips of the segment circulated. TikTok videos dissected every moment, with fans analyzing O'Reilly's gestures, tone, and phrasing. YouTube commentators uploaded detailed breakdowns, highlighting both the effectiveness of his argument and the emotional impact of his delivery. On Twitter, hashtags related to the incident trended globally, drawing attention not only to Clark but also to the broader discussion of accountability and fairness in sports commentary. Fans from all over the world debated the segment, sharing opinions and creating viral content that further amplified the reach of the broadcast. Industry analysts quickly pointed out that O'Reilly's defense represented more than just a moment of support for an athlete. It was a reflection of the evolving role of media in shaping narratives. By speaking directly to critics in a live format, he bypassed the slower, more traditional methods of addressing public disputes, creating an immediate, powerful statement that reached millions of viewers simultaneously. This approach highlighted how influential commentators can steer the conversation, challenge biases, and redefine the perception of athletes in real time, especially when social media accelerates the spread of their messages. The segment also sparked wider discussions about gender dynamics in sports. Caitlin Clark, as a rising female star in a historically underrepresented league, has faced scrutiny that is often harsher than that experienced by male athletes. O'Reilly's intervention brought attention to these disparities, framing her critics' behavior as not only unfair but emblematic of a larger pattern of gender-based bias in sports commentary. Fans and analysts alike praised the segment for shining a light on these issues, turning what could have been a simple defense into a culturally resonant statement about respect, recognition, and equality in professional sports. Emotionally, the segment resonated strongly with viewers. O'Reilly's delivery combined authority with urgency, conveying that the attacks on Clark were unacceptable and needed to be called out. Fans responded with enthusiasm, posting clips, sharing commentary, and creating viral threads in solidarity with Clark. The live format amplified this impact, giving viewers a sense of immediacy and authenticity that pre-recorded commentary often lacks. It became clear that this was not just a segment about basketball, it was a moment of accountability, a public confrontation that challenged the behavior of critics in a way few commentators dare to attempt. Critics of the segment debated whether a political commentator should weigh in so forcefully on sports-related criticism. However, the overwhelming response from fans leaned toward approval, highlighting the segment's effectiveness in defending Clark and calling out unfair criticism. Analysts suggested that the broadcast may influence future coverage of Clark and other WNBA athletes, setting a precedent for defending female athletes against baseless or biased criticism. The viral nature of the segment ensured that the conversation would continue long after the live broadcast ended, keeping Clark and the issues surrounding her in the spotlight. Ultimately, Bill O'Reilly's defense of Caitlin Clark represents a defining moment in modern sports media. By confronting critics directly and unapologetically, he elevated Clark's accomplishments, challenged unfair criticism, and sparked a global discussion about respect, accountability, and fairness. Fans, commentators, and analysts continue to debate the implications, dissecting every aspect of the segment while considering its long-term impact on media narratives and athlete representation. As this story continues to unfold, questions remain. How will Clark's critics respond to O'Reilly's powerful rebuttal? Will other media personalities follow suit in defending athletes publicly? And what does this moment mean for the future of coverage and commentary in the WNBA and professional sports in general? One thing is clear. The segment has left an indelible mark, demonstrating the power of live commentary, social media amplification, and unapologetic advocacy in shaping public perception. Fans around the world are watching closely, eager to see what unfolds next in this high-stakes, emotionally charged saga surrounding Caitlin Clark and her growing influence on and off the court. The drama surrounding Caitlin Clark and her critics just reached a whole new level, and now it's your turn to join the conversation. Do you think Bill O'Reilly was right to step in and call out Clark's haters, or should public figures stay out of sports debates? How do you feel about the intense criticism Clark has faced despite her incredible talent and contributions to the WNBA? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let the world know where you stand. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're following every update in this viral saga, and hit subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest WNBA news, celebrity commentary, and social media drama. Turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking story, and be part of the discussion as we cover every twist, reaction, and fallout from this explosive moment. Your opinion matters. Join the debate now.